All right, we have three possibilities for our upcoming Bitcoin cycle low. There's one likely, one less likely, and the third one is unlikely, basically the 92, 93K area. In this video, I would like to explain you why I came up with these three possibilities. If you already seen my previous videos, and especially if you have interacted with my trading newsletter at strategymaster.io, you've seen this article published on the May 25th, where I explained that Bitcoin is going to have a cycle low in the beginning of June, and that's exactly what's happening. Once we reached 111K, 112K, we started to tumbling down into the cycle low. As you know, Bitcoin is moving in the 60-day cycles, and we are approaching the cycle bottom. Cycle bottom is always a super exciting time because we are making a low, and from there we are going up for the next 30 to 40 days at least. This is the best opportunity to obtain Bitcoin and usually other cryptocurrencies. And obviously we don't want Bitcoin to fall a lot, because the more Bitcoin falls, the more difficult it is for us to actually identify that low. At the bottom of the screen, you can see my cycle indicators. If you watched previous videos, you already know and you're already familiar with them. If not, I link a video which explains the cycle indicators in the description and in the info box at the top. Now, you see 1 day, 3 day, and the 1 week cycle indicator. Basically, they stand for whatever they are called. So 1 day cycle basically shows 1 day Bitcoin price movements, and Bitcoin, of course, is moving from the lows to the highs. After it approaches the highs, it then goes down once again and makes a new low Now, our goal is actually to understand where it can potentially fall and where we should actually buy or even short Bitcoin. I don't recommend shorting Bitcoin right now in this bullish phase. I'm doing it because I'm a high risk trader, but I mean, you can make money even without shorting, and it's perfectly fine to just long it at every single cycle low. Let me remind you also about the 3-day cycle indicator. The 3-day cycle indicator shows Bitcoin movements within the next few weeks. As you can see here, we had a very bullish period. We made a high on the 3-day cycle indicator and we started going down. That's exactly, you could spot it in the Bitcoin price. Once we made the top above 110K, we started going down, and we are currently in the process of establishing that low. However, the 1 week cycle indicator is super bullish, and we're actually not falling on the 1 week. We're still going up. This is also a blessing and a danger for Bitcoin. We made a bottom here, and of course, we're currently going up. We are going up. Now, we don't want Bitcoin to start falling right now on the weekly, because if that happens, you know that we are going to experience a bearish period for the next few months. This is not going to happen now, most probably not, because we just started our weekly cycle, and because our bull market top is not that far from where we are right now. Hopefully you understand a little bit more about the cycle indicators right now. If you want to read about them and if you want to understand them more, just go to this website right here, strategymaster.io. I will also link it in the description down below, and here you will be able to find all the information about the cycle indicators, how to apply them on the chart, and how I make buying and selling decisions. For example, the last article I published was about Ethereum, where I painted this chart. I expected Ethereum to go up to 2.7K, which is actually happening right now. We're in the middle of this action. Then I expect Ethereum to actually go down one last time together with the Bitcoin to make the cycle low, and from there again to go up. And actually that's where the biggest money is made, in shorting this action and then longing this action right here. Coming back to the chart, let me clean the chart. I'll be back to you with you in a second. Here we are. Now, I would like to talk with you about why I think that we're going to hit this box, and why I think there is quite a high chance that we also might hit this box, and why I believe that this box will most probably be untapped, and we do something like this, or even we're going to consolidate here, and we're going to do like this. I already explained that Bitcoin is moving into 60-day cycles. As you can see, the previous cycle was done right here. The cycle top was reached over here, and in about 15 days we should reach the bottom. This green stripe right here shows the potential date for the Bitcoin cycle bottom. So now we are actually expected to fall down within all this time. So we have around 15 days to actually go down. We currently have about 4 days left. until we make this ultimate cycle low. We might extend it by a couple of more days, or we might even have a premature cycle low that happened actually in the previous cycle. However, every cycle low, every 60-day cycle low is marked by a big volume and by big green candles. And I'm not sure actually if we have seen them already. Now, let me delete it once again. Last night we got this beautiful green candle. However, we started to consolidate once again, and this usually means that the new cycle was not yet started. This is one of the reasons why I believe that we will still go lower. Second reason is we didn't actually reset the indicators at all. Now, the 1 week indicator is still at the top. The 3-day cycle indicator just reached 20 right now. And the 1-day indicator is going up. Actually, it's about 61. So what I expect is that we will do something like this, and we will have an ultimate bottom somewhere maybe about 10th of June, while the 3-day cycle will have some time to properly reset, maybe go to even 6. The weekly will most probably start falling slowly, and it might reverse to the upside due to bullishness that we currently have in the market. Now, all of these situations has been already seen in the past. If we go here, even to the November 4th of 2024, we also experienced a very similar push to the upside right here. We made a cycle bottom. We were trending up in the first cycle. We made a cycle top at about the day 50, about 52. And then we had the super small retracement to the Bitcoin cycle low. Okay. Now, what happened during this retracement is that the 1-day cycle fully resetted itself, and then it jumped from there. It was a very, very quick one. The longer the cycle here, the longer the cycle, the lower the chances that we are actually making an absolute bottom. You can see right here. Basically, here is quite a long one, and what happens, sure, we go up, but we still come back down, okay? In this scenario, the 1 week cycle just started to fall, but it immediately reversed to the upside. That's what I think is going to happen this time, because we have extremely bullish conditions. The 3-day cycle, however, didn't even have a time to fully reset, which is bad, because in this situation, it only leaves us for about maybe 1 week to 2 weeks upside potential. So the more time we have to reset, the better the upside. I can go to the past once again and then identify a similar situation. This was even a better situation because this cycle was a longer one. It took about 70 days to complete. And in this cycle, we had enough time to actually go below 20 on the weekly, below 20 on the 3-day, and we actually reversed here on the 1 day. However, this is perfectly fine as we're actually making a cycle low, a very strong cycle low on the 1 week and the 3-day charts, and we have plenty of time to go to the upside because we are going up until the 1 week reaches 80. That's basically our goal. Also, we are going up until the 3-day reaches 80. So all this area, it's very easy to invest. This area, we are sure, or we have a very high probability that the financial asset, in this time Bitcoin, is going to go up. One last example happened in November 23. Here we had a cycle low in the middle of bullish period, okay? That was actually a very, very difficult one to call because we made a low here and we kind of revisited this low here. Now, the 1-day indicator didn't properly show us anything, same with the 3-day and same with the 1 week. These cycles are the most difficult to catch. However, because they are so bullish, we can be sure that the next cycle is also going to be a very, very bullish one. And for example, once we made a cycle low there, we immediately went up by 25%, and then we simply resumed to the upside until we made the new cycle low. So here we basically made over 38% in this cycle. Now, something very similar can be expected from this cycle as well. I expect Bitcoin to resume to the upside, smash the all-time highs, regardless if it's going to go now to the 100K area, even if it's going to go to the 97K area. I expect Bitcoin to perform extremely well. So what I'm doing right now, I'm actually accumulating more Bitcoin, and of course I'm going to open a bigger long position once I'm sure that the cycle low is there. You like the video? Subscribe. Don't miss the subsequent videos. Only this channel talks about cycles and potential cycle bottoms. Subscribe for the newsletter, strategymaster.io. And of course, if you want to trade, don't forget to click in the description down below. Go to any of my videos and here click the BTCC link. Right here, you're going to have 10% deposit bonus. So whatever you deposit, BTCC smashes 10% on top. You deposit 1,000, they give you $100. You deposit 10,000, they give you $1,000 for free. I trade on BTCC because I simply love free money. It's free trading money. Follow cycles and make money together with me.